Hello everyone, welcome to our English class. So last week we discussed about some poems. So today we are going to deal with a story. What's the title of our story? A Letter to God. The story written by J.L. Fuentes. So this is a Mexican writer and he was a novelist and journalist, and also he was a very good writer, and his story is full of simple language and style, so everyone can read and enjoy his stories. So in this story is discussing about a farmer. So central character is Lencho. Lencho was a farmer. He was very hardworking farmer, and he has no any further qualification. Nothing is there. He just read and he just know how to read and write. Other qualifications, nothing is there. But Lencho was a farmer. He had the field of ripe corn dotted with flowers. So what happened? Actually, he worked like an ox, isn't that much? He worked in his field, and he was getting money from only this cultivation, and he was planting all the things in his field. It's a corn field, and he was waiting for rain, isn't? So Lencho was a farmer. He had the field of ripe corn dotted with flowers. So everything is ready, but he needs some rain. Then he hoped for a downpour or at least shower. So he needed rain for his good cultivation. He was happy to see huge mountains of clouds. So actually he needs some rain. So while the clouds appeared in the blue sky, at that time he was very happy, because he thought that now the rain will come and I will get the proper weather, and so it's very good for my cultivation. But what happened? But suddenly a strong wind began to blow with a large hailstone. So what do you mean by hailstone? You know that. What is hailstone? This is the ice particles, isn't it? So sometimes in our surroundings also we can see that when the huge rains came, at that time we are trying to catch this hailstones. Okay. So but suddenly strong, sometimes little amount of hailstone is not a problem, but it's what happens, it's fall down very huge amount. At that time it's very difficult, isn't it? So what happened? The hail rained for an hour. So the hailstone rained for an hour. Just imagine that sometimes we saw some videos, the destruction of this hailstone. It's very difficult to continuously have an hour. It's falling. It's very difficult. So the hail rained for an hour, and the field was white as if covered with salt. So what happened? His field is changed like a salt. That means it's very full of covered with this hailstones. Then, so what happened? Is it good for the cultivation? No, exactly. What happened is the corn was totally destroyed. So his work, everything is destroyed. The corn was totally destroyed, and the hail has left nothing. So this hail, now actually instead of rain, what happened? The hail came. So Lencho needs rain, but at the same time, unfortunately, the hail has left nothing. So everything is lost. Then he did not understand what to do. So what happened? He was very sad. He doesn't know about what he wanted forward, how he wanted to go, how he wanted to solve this problem. Anyway, but he had a great faith on God. So if some situation, difficult situation come to our life, we also depending on our Almighty, isn't it? Like that, Lencho also great faith, and not a normal people like that. More, he was very faith on God. So in this situation also, Lencho tried to start asking help from God. So he had a strong faith on God. So he believed that only God can change his mood, and only God can help him. So that's why what he is going to do is that he wrote a letter to God demanding 100 pesos. What do you mean by peso? Peso means Mexican currency. So he wrote a letter to God. So what's the title of our story? A letter to God. We know different type of letters, isn't it? You know that what is formal letter, informal letter, other so many letters you know. But this is a special letter. What is that? The letter is going to give to God. Okay, so he wrote a letter to God demanding 100 peso. What he was wrote in that letter? So he asked him, because now he lost everything, his cultivation and his crops, nothing is there. So he wanted to leave. So without this help of the God, he can't leave. So that's why he wrote a letter to God demanding 100 pesos. So in his letter, in his envelope, he wrote that I want 100 pesos. Otherwise, I can't leave because I have a family. I wanted to keep all the things very regular, very good way. So that's why I must need your help. He asked it. He wrote something to. He asked it some problems too in that letter. Then, so he sent that letter. He gave that letter. He gives to that letter to postman. When the postman read the letter addressing to the God, he could not stop himself by laughing. So actually, no one can send a letter to God. But here, why we don't know, because that much faith Lenjo had. Lenjo simply believing that God is there. I want to send the letter because he want to share his sadness to anyone. Only the God Almighty was only the help for Lenjo. That's why he sent the letter. Actually, simple man, uneducated man. That's why maybe he is writing this letter. Anyway, we don't know what the author wrote in this chapter. Then when the postman read the letter addressing to God, he could not stop himself by laughing. What happened actually? The postman, they have started to laugh, isn't it? We also we are trying to laugh. Then, but the postmaster, who was fat, amiable man, decided to help Lenjo. So, what's the thing? The postman people, they are not avoiding Lenjo. And instead of avoiding, the postmaster, who was a fat, amiable man, decided to help Lenjo. They are trying because they thought that means this man was very faith in God, isn't it? We don't know how much he believed in God. So mostly we want to help this man. Then they are trying to help the Lenjo. How? We can look at. He collected 70 peso from his friends' charity and he himself gave a part of his salary. Oh, so very good decision, is it? Then he collected 70 peso from his friends. So he started. So 100 peso is a very large amount. So that's why he collected. They were sharing some money to give Lenjo and. They are cut some from their salary and they together gave some 70 pesos to change to give to then Lenjo. So what happened? The following Sunday, Lenjo came to collect the money. So the next Sunday, Lenjo is come back to post office. For what? Not for any reason. He was very sure that he will get the money. Surely the God will send the money. He thought that. So that's why the next Sunday he came for collecting money. Not a letter, nothing is there. He wanted to collect the money. Okay. So the following Sunday, Lenjo came to collect the money, but he was disappointed. He was instead of happiness, he was very sad. What's the reason? Because he asked 100 peso, only he gets 70 pesos. Then he was very angry. He was angry and he wrote again a letter to God demanding rest of money. Again, he started to write second letter. For what? He wants rest of money. Then he was angry and he wrote again a letter. He was very angry because he get 70 pesos. He was angry and he wrote again letter to God demanding the rest of money. He also wrote that the God should not send the money. That's very important and a laughing stock. What is that? In that letter, the last section of that letter, the Lenjo wrote that's very funny. Okay. He also wrote that the God should not send the money through the post office because what he believed that the post office employees are a bunch of crooks. Okay, what is that? Did you get the meaning? Listen. He also wrote that the God should not send the money. So, in that letter, In that letter, Lencho wrote that you don't want to send the rest of the money. That means how much rest of the money? 70 peso he got now. He asked 100 peso. So rest of the money 30. Isn't it? So that 30 piece of money you don't want to send to this post office. You want to hand over to me. Otherwise, the bunch of crooks. Crooks means what is? I'm not a good person, not a truthful person. So these post office members are everyone is very crooks. So you want to give you want to the rest of the money to me, not to this note. You want to not to send the post office. Okay, this is the story, and we don't know what happened to the rest. What is the reaction of the post office people? We don't know about any other further thing. So this is the story about the Lencho and his letter. I think you understood the story. Very simple story. You just read the story and want to understand some important questions. Next class I will send some important questions, and you want to identify the central character and the important question answers, and also you want to identify the new words. Okay, thank you.